guys, we're to Skylines Nerd. Today we are live with the landfall coverage for the remnants of Hurricane Lee. Now, I am live. This is the first time I've ever been live. Sorry for the pause at the beginning. I actually didn't know if I was live. Currently, Lee has winds of, I know Tropical Tibbets hasn't updated it yet, but as of the latest NHC update, it has winds of 70 miles per hour, now an extratropical storm, no longer hurricane, and a minimum pressure of, pull this up, of 968 millibars. Here's the latest satellite imagery. Now, it is getting dangerously close to landfall. As a matter of fact, that's why I've brought you here or I've started live streaming, so you can see it make landfall, because this is a very devastating, or can be a very devastating storm, getting a lot of wind to the north here, and or at least I expect that would probably be late. See, there is the center right there. It's gonna move up into New Brunswick. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Ventusky. See, I already have Hurricane Lee loaded in. There's the center. This is almost 30 kilometers from Shambagu Point. The closest point of land is this island, which is 12 and a half kilometers from Shambagu Point, 18 kilometers from Wedgeport, 18 kilometers from Tusket Wedge, and 21.8 from Yarmouth. There is Shambagu Point. Currently the closest named point of land to Hurricane Lee. Get that. There we go. See, there is the satellite imagery of Hurricane Lee, getting very close to landfall. As a matter of fact, I'm wondering if it moves north and potentially clips here. That would be Freeport, Westport, all them. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, it is... What did it just do? I hate it when it does that. When I do something too quick, it, zooms out and freaks out. Besides Lee, we have Tropical Depression 15 here, which, a lot of models are saying it could intensify to Tropical Storm Nigel later today. The latest advisory and outlook for the NHC have came out, and neither of them, and it does not have 15 as a named storm just yet. Here is Margot, still weakening, with winds of 50 miles an hour and pressure of 996 millibars. Completing that loop it did the other day. I shouldn't say the other day, yesterday that it was completing. And is going to potentially re-intensify as it completes that loop and then just go out into the extratropical Atlantic. And then we have this. The NHC does not have this as forming into a center more. This transitioning into a sub-depression or substorm. However, if we look at radar here, it is bringing some rain to Iberia. Speaking of that, there's Margot. There is 15, big rain for 15. And here's Lee. Got a lot of rain up in Maine, New Brunswick, and the middle part of Nova Scotia. Surprisingly, no rain where it could potentially make landfall. I'm thinking, right here, it's going to go up, potentially clip Freeport, Westport right here, start curving and make landfall in the capital of New Brunswick, St. John. Because that seems like a very viable option, because a lot of the models, including the NHC, as a matter of fact, let me pull it up here, say it's going to curve before it makes landfall. This entire region, the entirety of Prince Edward Island, the entire coast of Maine, almost all of the coast of New Brunswick, and the entirety of Nova Scotia is under a tropical storm warning, and they need to be very, very, very careful about this. It's very close to landfall. Could potentially make landfall later today. I'm saying probably by sundown it will make landfall. Currently located the center of it right here, fixing to cross 44 north, about 66.5 degrees west. So we take a look at the model runs. You see there is Lee, there is Margot, 15, and that weird subtropical thing. See, we're going to follow this first. It kind of just, yeah. Next is Lee, which is going to be rapidly weakening. Impacts the entirety of the maritime provinces before going out to sea. See, there is Margot, as you can just see. Yeah. Then you have this, which could become Nigel. You see, becomes quite strong, possibly a major hurricane. Before combining, look at that extra tropical cyclone. 938 million. That's one of the most intense cyclones I've ever seen. Then we have some very weird things. We have something coming out of Bermuda and making something. Could that be tropical? Could that be subtropical? I don't know, but the Carolinas should be on lookout for this because this actually is not very far out. This is only 8 days. This is about this time of day, the 24th. So I wouldn't definitely say, oh, that's not going to happen. We also have this, which could spring up in the Eastern Pacific and become quite strong, and another thing behind it. And then another thing emerging out of the Bermuda, Florida area, becoming another thing. So, this entire area, watch out, the next 3 names on the list for this year are Nigel, Ophelia, and that is Philippe, actually. I couldn't remember it for a second somehow. But yeah, and we're going to move to the Eastern Pacific now. See, there is Tropical Depression 12. I don't think it's weakening now. See, that could form into something. As a matter of fact, we're going to check the SSI here. Simulated satellite imagery. Oh, goodness. You can see there's that big conglomeration of storms that couldn't form up. I wouldn't put much thought into it, but it's not looking like it's going to impact land either, so if it does, no immediate threat. See, there's that one storm getting down into the 950s before weakening. Looks like a typical late season Pacific hurricane, just blowing up, becoming really strong, and just meandering out to sea. To the Western Pacific here, we see Invest, yeah. Not really anything forming. And then, really late in the models here, look at that! Ooh, wow! Look at this storm. So it forms as a tropical depression, probably becomes a tropical storm, maybe a weak typhoon, impacts Luzon, then explosively intensifies to, that looks like pretty high-end Category 4. Then more storms form behind that. We have that storm right there, which could start to form as early as just 3 days from now. So actually, I take it back from what I said. Probably nothing gonna form. As a matter of fact, we'll look at the SSI here. Oh, goodness. So you see there it is moving off, and you can see it getting really organized there. A lot of convection blowing up in that frame, man. Onto the entirety of the Indian Ocean, we had that depression move through India, now emerging on the other side. Not going to do anything. Oh, look at the slip and 10 wind here. Nothing forming. No surprises. I don't expect anything to form for at least another month and a half, at least. Because the season doesn't start till the 1st of November. And on Margot here, as I said, 55 miles an hour, minimum pressure of 996 millibars. Going to complete that loop before becoming a post-tropical depression or X-depression. And could it hit the Azores there? I wouldn't put faith into that, but that really isn't that far out. So Azores, be on the lookout. Tropical depression 15. Here's the cone. Looks like it's gonna become a storm probably as early as next advisory at 4. I don't know if I'll still be streaming then, but If it does, I will probably do an update on what would then be Tropical Storm Nigel. See, strengthened into a hurricane Monday morning and staying a hurricane through the rest of the cone. No immediate threat to land. 12E, not much I have to say. Here's the latest satellite imagery. It looks like it's getting really, really sheared. Its move, you can see it really just lost that convection and exposed the entirety of its LLC. Just moved it past 138 degrees west. That's about all I have here. Back to windy. I had it on the satellite for this subtropical storm. Comment or leave something in the chat if you do think this should be a subtropical storm, because this thing really does look good. If I check wind, that's 45 miles an hour, and still about 20 or not 20, 35 near the edges. So that could at least be a sub depression. There's satellite. You see, there it is. There's Margot. There's 15, Lee, and 12. I almost was like, where's 12? Weather radar here. We see back satellite here. You see, here is, look at this. Look at this. Like, it kind of has an eye. See, here's the center, not too far from Yarmouth. And it says Chabot, Rockville, Cape Horseshoe, Yarmouth Bar, Pembroke, Sandford, Richmond, Cape St. Mary's. All along the southern part of anything southwest of New Ross is probably getting lashed with rain. Oh, actually, no. Anything really north of there. Basically, everywhere east of Fredericton is just getting hammered. A big line here from Stockton Springs up through Winterport, Hamden, Bangor, Hudson, Greenbush, Howland, Chester. How the heck do you pronounce that? Mattawamkeag, East Millinocket, Reed, Haynesville, Hodgdon, I think, Cary, Woodstock, Monticello, Centerville. Really, there is where it kind of trails off, but still Fredericton and Minto there. So getting hit with pretty hard rain. Down in the more populated areas, Nantucket, Barnstable, Provincetown, Boston getting a little rain. So is Brockton. New York staying mainly dry. Montauk getting some rain. Grayhead, Newport, Providence. But, yeah. That's about it for the weather radar. Look at wind here. Look at gusts. You see, you're going to look at Clark's Harbor. 65 miles an hour. Yarmouth 40. Freeport 35. Digby 40. New Grafton 46. Liverpool 65. Shelburne 60. Bridgewater 60. Middleton 45. Up through the parts that are getting lashed with rain. Ellsworth 46, Millinocket 45, Lincoln 50, Dover Foxcroft 43, Bangor 45. Looks like a wide, very, very, very wide swath of tropical storm force winds, as you can see, reaching from around Halifax, which is about here, extending a little farther, all the way down to Boston. That is a pretty long distance here. The NHC has about right here being all tropical storm force winds. As a matter of fact, here is that cone. See, the entire state of Maine with tropical storm winds. All of New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, the very eastern part of New Hampshire, a bit of Quebec, and the entirety of Nova Scotia there. As a matter of fact, the entire southern coast of Nova Scotia and a bit of the southern coast of New Brunswick under a hurricane watch, despite the fact that it is not a hurricane anymore. I'll watch what satellite imagery. On the SSTs here, we see temps in the northern Atlantic, a wide swath of 30 between the Lesser Antilles up towards the Gulf Coast. We have a little cold trail here from Lee, but I expect that to easily become sufficient with water. Plenty of heat left in the MDR for more development. Eastern Pacific, same song, different verse here. Very, very warm waters in the Gulf of California, I think, and then a lot of 29 to 31 here. Big swath of 31 in the Gulf of Mexico. That's not what I told you to do. On to the West Pacific, massive, massive area of 30 to 31 degrees, with spots potentially nearly hitting 32. But it looks like, other than the storms that could form, we might be done with this season. We haven't seen any major storms since Haiki and Saola. Southwestern Pacific starting to get its temps back. Near Vanuatu, still 28 to 30 degrees. Near Fiji, starting to get back to 26. New Caledonia, still in the low 20s. Near is that. Oh no, those are the Solomon Islands. Near Vanuatu, 29 to 22 degrees. Oh, goodness. Rest of Australia looking a big swath of 26 to 28 degrees here. Could we be seeing an early season tropical cyclone? I don't think so, but that's not leaving anything out of the picture. Rest of the Indian Ocean, big, big hot pools in the Red Sea, I think that is, and the Sea of Oman. I think I cannot genuinely remember the names of these seas. 32 to probably almost 34. But besides that, a small pocket of 30 with a lot of 27 to 29. It looks like that the Indian Ocean is done for now. Finally, the South Atlantic got Recife here, got 27, 26, but it's mainly north of the equator and Recife. But as we get later in the year, all this will probably warm up, and could we see a saddle South Atlantic tropical cyclone? I wouldn't say yes, but the entire world here for seasonal temperatures anomalies mainly really above average, except for Margot and Lee here. A lot of above average in the East Pacific too, while in the Western Pacific, and a surprising amount of below average near Australia and below average near India. Why don't we move on to something else? We see. Oh, let me close all these ridiculous looking tabs out. There we go. So back to windy here, we see there is that subtropical storm. I'm doing a little bit on this because I really think that this substorm could form. I mean, look at that. That is perfect now. Okay, it is still connected to that extratropical front, and also it's still, it does not have any convection. As a matter of fact, it's kind of connected to Margot, because if you take Margot's trail, come down, you see, pretty connected to it, and then you ride this up, you actually find that extratropical cyclone. Looking at the radar again, we have, what does it say, no data when it has data. See, there's the center right there. Iberia getting hit with rain, about nothing everywhere else. With rain and thunder, a lot out here to the left and down side of the eye. There's Margot, Lee, 15, 12 to rain accumulation. So here in the next 12 hours, looks like it's not really gonna, well, this is probably old data, but gonna come up here with the next 12 hours. With the next 24 parts of, so we're gonna see here Boston at about an inch, Brockton an inch, Provincetown 2.5, Barnstable 2, Nantucket 2.5, Gay Head 1.3. Freeport 2.5, Yarmouth 2.5, Clark's Harbor 2, Cranberry Isles 1.6, Jonesport 2, Northfield 1.8, Princeton 1.5. Then just more rain, more rain, more rain. Stop prompting me to go premium. But yeah, Boston 1.5, Yarmouth nearly 3, St. John 4, Moncton 2.5, Miramachi. The waves here. These are massive swells coming into Liverpool. I would not be going to the beach if I were you. We have swells of 30 feet in Liverpool. As a matter of fact, I'm going to see if we have a webcam up in Liverpool. Do we? Do we? Do we? Do we? Yes, we do. See, rain here is what it looks like earlier. So 15 hours ago, 20 hours ago, 22, 23. Then it really started pouring down. Sun about to come. Oh, that was 8 hours ago. This is about everything. You see, here's from 9 minutes ago. You see, look at that. Have this is in New Brunswick. No, that's Maine. Here, pretty cloudy over in Provincetown. If I look at the radar, raining wherever the heck that is. Oh goodness, pouring down in Maine. So yeah, you can see here it is with the webcams pulled up. Here, this is from 1 minute ago. Outside of the border. Go full screen here. Got. Oh goodness, we're gonna look for first wind accumulation, and we should have SSTs on here somewhere, don't they? See, there is the weather radar. You see there's Lee moving through satellite. You see there's Lee, the substorm, Margot, wind, same for, wow, look at Lee there. Wind gusts, same thing, wind accumulation. Rain and thunder, you see, look at Lee coming up there, rain accumulation. New snow, need I say anything? Temperature, you see there's Lee moving up. Humidity, Webble temp. I'm trying to find SSTs, yes. As a matter of fact, I'll show you what they look like. See, look, it's starting to get cooler there from where Lee was. Let me exit out of this. So we're gonna start Gulf Stream still 80 to even 90 degrees down south the tip of Florida. Cuba still around 90. Goodness. I already checked SSTs, so no need to go around with it. However, you do see this cold tail here. And that's about it. So, I hope this was a great live stream for you. I don't know how long it was. I think it was about 30 minutes long. If I find something to do within like the next 2 or 3 minutes, 94 degrees, wow. Then I will, but besides that, I don't really have anything else to say. See if I can find anything to keep myself and you entertained. We have thunderstorms, substorm. Well, no really thunderstorms from Lee. That actually kind of surprises me. Ozone layer, because why not? Aerosol, or PM 2.5, C temperature, wind accumulation. See, in the next 12 hours, see Nigel, substorm, Margot, and Lee there. And it doubles, and you see it going way out to sea there. But coming at, as a matter of fact, we're gonna check Fantusky here. Go to air pressure. I haven't been messing around with Fantusky. Oh, come on. Like the 18th, 20th. There it is, right there. It was absolutely massive. 28.4. No, it was a different one, wasn't it? I think it was that one right there. See, look at how broad that thing is. There it is. Which goes 10 p. Look at that. That is, hold on, settings. You want pressure units as hectopascals 938. Then slowly swirling around, getting weaker, making landfall in Iceland around the 25th. I wouldn't definitely say that this is going to happen, because this is 9 days out. Now, don't get me wrong, that's not really far out, but it's certainly not within the near, okay, well, if it's 9 days within the near future, I'll let that be up to you. But I wouldn't, I wouldn't count your chickens before they hatch on it making landfall at that intensity or at that day. Could it happen earlier? Could it happen later? Don't ask me. I'm not a meteorologist. But yeah, I think that is just about everything. Like, subscribe, comment, share, subscribe here, subscribe on my weather channel. Sorry I couldn't actually do it on my weather channel. I applied for it. I didn't. It's not ready for. It's not gonna be ready till tomorrow at around this time. Maybe I'll do a stream tomorrow. I might not. You never know. It's you're gonna have to wait and see. I might though, seriously. I'm probably gonna upload another video later today, and that's about it. Like, subscribe, comment, share.